we likely have some folks on the webinar, so we can kick this off. So for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Michelle Van Horn, and I am VP of Product Partnerships at Explore. So Haley from the team works really closely with Prospr and the other Mariana Tech partners. And we're excited today to introduce to you Prospr. So we are big believers in frontline management. We think that's the culture carrier, and as boutique fitness studios, I think you all realize that the frontline team really sets the tone for your client experience. And so everything is a reflection of the brand, the studio, the service that you're offering. So we're excited today to one, kind of welcome this new partner into our world, and then hear from Prospr, Erica, and her team on, what they're doing to really help studio operators kind of infiltrate that culture and that vibe across everything that you're doing in the studio. So with that, I'll hand it over to Erica, you and your team, and can take us through today's session.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Michelle, Haley, all of the work that you guys have done to bring us into the Mariana world. We've really loved it so far. I want to introduce myself and then our other panelists. I'm Erica. I am our CEO and co-founder at Prospr. And prior to building Prospr, I was an operator. I was managing studios across 4 states, 21 in total, and the struggle was real. We would think that we had communicated effectively. We would have thought that we had information properly on the ground, only to walk and meet our employees who had no idea what was going on. And really because we weren't effectively reaching them. The no call, no show was probably my least favorite part of my job. And really making all of the pieces of frontline management easier, right? Easier to communicate, easier to schedule, easier for employees to be amazing, right? People who have their expectations known, whether that's via a task list or a mobile scheduling app, or the ability to easily get coverage for themselves and all of their learning or training or internet details in their phone in a way that you can eliminate, I don't know, you can eliminate, nobody told me, and you can eliminate, I didn't know where to find that, right? All in one easy app. And when you do those things and you make it easy for your employees to succeed, they do. And when they succeed, you succeed. I also want to take a quick second, Lacey, if you want to say hi.
Yes, thank you so much. My name's Lacey. I am also with Prospr. I'm focused primarily on all things operations, so implementation, success, and really just making our customers make the most of their Prospr.
Awesome. Let's go to the first slide, if you don't mind, so we can introduce the 2 amazing panelists that we have with us today. So rather than just have us tell you how fabulous Prospr is, because we are admittedly biased, we also wanted to hear from 2 Mariana Prospr customers. We have Katie and Christina. Katie is with RIP PHL. Christina's with SWAT 440. Katie is the owner of RIP PHL. Christina is the director of training and development at SWAT 440. I think what will be interesting is that they have unique perspectives, right? Christina's running a franchise business. Katie's running something that she owns herself and is in a 1 studio location. So you'll really hear how Prospr supports different kinds of businesses across the board. If you guys want to introduce yourself quickly, that would be great.
Sure. So Christina, thank you, Erica. With SWAT 440, we're based out of Miami, Florida, but have locations in New York, New Jersey, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Texas. And I joke, and it's not so much joke, that if I didn't work for SWAT 440, I'd want to work for Prospr. So I've told Erica that a couple of times. So we love this product and this software that we've been using now for a handful of years, ever since we opened back up operations after COVID.
And I'm Katie. I have a RIP PHL. We're a HIIT studio and personal training studio based out of Center City, Philadelphia. We're going on 9 years that we've been open. I've actually been with MT for almost 4 years and Prospr for about 3 years. And just like Christina said, it is definitely a software that I feel like I already work at almost. I feel like I always tell all of my other studio owner friends, I'm like, they're like, what do you do for this? What do you do for that? And I'm like, Prospr. So it's definitely something that we've been using for a while, and then it's, something that's really simplified a lot of our procedures and tasks around here.
Thanks, guys. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions. Obviously, feel free to share even more than that. What features do you use in Prospr that you couldn't live without?
Front desk tasks. I think that for me, um, we have a lot of things that go on in our studio. There's showers, there's locker rooms, there's smoothies, there's personal training, there's classes. There's just a lot of things that our front desk needs to keep track of and they need to remember to do. For me, I think having them come in and they're all playing on their phone all day long as it is. So it's nice for them to have the app and they can just go through and like check off each task that they have to do. So I think honestly that for me is one of my favorite things.
Awesome. I would say the different ways to like do communication. So bulletins are my favorite way because you can add the GIFs and you can make it a nice fun announcement. It's like this electronic bulletin board. And I use that. We do like Monday mentions, which is company-wide celebrations every Monday. And then we do marketing updates. But then what I love is being able to do separate group messaging, and our business couldn't run without the group messaging. And what I love the most about it is it gives like work-life balance for it not to be in text messages. And so our studio teams can message with our customer service center, our IT teams within Prospr, and have everything work related right in that space for communication lines.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what everybody really cares about. What's right? So for anybody who has no idea what Prospr is and hasn't even checked it out, we are a full workforce management suite. So you'll be able to do everything from instructor scheduling through Mariana integration to all of your front desk scheduling, manage swaps, time off, communication, learning and development, facilities management. It is a one-stop shop. I was like, I need one thing for everything. And that is what we built. And so, when you think about, okay, great, but what is the ROI? What are you really saving? What are you getting?
For me, there's time is honestly worth the most to me personally right now. I would say 99% of the questions that I was asked before, it's in Prospr. It's all on one app. And also those savings of having 4 different software that we were using in the past, everything's combined all into one. There's no more missed classes, so I don't need to give back all of my clients like a free class because the instructor forgot and didn't show up. Front desk, making sure that they're in the studio. That saved me a lot of money in terms of, if then I asked my trainer to clean the studio and do things and I had to pay them something extra. But honestly, for me, the biggest thing is just the time savings. Like I said, about 99% of anything I'm going to be asked, my first response is, did you check Prospr? And they're like, yes, yeah, it's in here. So that to me, it's even more valuable than the savings that I've had from, the different softwares that I was able to get rid of.
Awesome.
Along those same lines, I love that, like, just check Prospr. Everyone knows that should be before they come to me with a question, they should check the resources, they should check everything within there. But I think even before that, from a training perspective, so my primary role is to train and onboard our new studio managers, but also our franchise owners. And being able to train them on one system of where they can do their time and team management, our joint missions of like, here's the studio checklist of everything, and then here's all of the resources. Prospr can host that, corporate will disseminate down to studio level, and all of our communications are in here. And the ability to train a brand new business owner in one platform for 5 different things is so valuable, and not only just time saving for me, but like it's easier for them to digest. Of like, where do I even log in for that thing again? So I think for me, where it's just like, it's our hub, We call it our hub for employee and studio management. It's just so valuable.
I think a lot of people on this call are probably using 5 or 6 different ways to right now manage their frontline. What were you guys using before and what did you consolidate into Prospr?
We were using Asana, Slack, and we actually even tried to use just Google Sheets for our front desk tasks, and they would just check off what they did. Those ones were the biggest ones that I mean, we've been on here for so long now that I'm like, it's hard to remember, but those are the 3 biggest ones that I remember consolidating all into one spot.
We were using When I Work for scheduling, and then we were using ClickUp for our task management, and then Slack for communication, and then technically Google Suite, like Google Drive for all of our resources. So it was bananas.
Last quick question, favorite feature?
I'll have to break that into one. I'm going back to the task. I'm a task person. I love them so much. I'm giving everybody a task and then having tickets that you can assign to each other.
I'm actually going to go with the resources, but that's probably because I'm in training and development. But I also love that any of my employees, if I say it's in Prospr, it also, because it's so mobile friendly, they can pull up a resource that I've provided for them and see it from their phone. They don't have to be in front of a computer. If it's a task or like how to do something, they're able to access it so quickly, and I don't need to send them an email with it.
I love it. Guys, thank you very, very much. We're gonna flip into product, and so I appreciate you guys more than anything. You may have to do some referral calls on our behalf.
Yeah.
I will let you go so that you obviously you're welcome to stay, but I will take you off as a participant, so that you don't have to sit
Hey,
there.
learn what we know is already
Yeah.
Prospr. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Haley and Michelle, I don't know how to actually make you a non-host, but I can turn your cameras off.
We're here for it. We want to be active participants. So I think leave us on, because we can kind of chime in where needed as well.
Would love that. So the first thing we're going to walk through is actually the mobile app, and it's going to be a day in the life as if you're an employee, right? So that you can really see from the beginning to the end how easy it is. Keep in mind, Prospr is modular rather. So I'm going to show you guys absolutely everything. That doesn't mean you need to use absolutely everything, right? We have time and attendance, but if you're loving what you're doing in Mariana, keep it, right? If you are using something different than Mariana for your front desks, then great, they can clock in here and your instructors can continue to clock in Mariana. If you have something that you absolutely love for ticketing, keep it. So don't feel overwhelmed by the amount of things we're going to show you. One of the best things is that Prospr does a lot. But of course, one of the other best things is that you can just pick what you want, leave what you don't. So let me know when you guys can see my phone screen and my.
We're good, Erica. We are in.
Okay. So if I am someone who has clock in, clock out, your team will be able to clock in up to 15 minutes before, an hour before, 0 minutes before. You can set that. But the best part of Prospr is that it's fully geofenced. So you can see I work in Colorado. I am currently not in Colorado. Right. So more realistically, if somebody was to clock in a couple of blocks away, it would still say, hey, we know you're not at work. We do allow you to set whether or not someone can override this, because sometimes you're at an event. Sometimes people are working from home. Great. So I am now in my active shift. I'm an employee and I can see all of the things that my team has posted here, right? I can actually even require my teams to e-sign and say, I am not only receiving this message, I'm confirming that I'm seeing it. When we flip over to the admin side, you'll see full read receipts on everybody who saw what when. I can post photos, I can post videos. Right? We always celebrate and prosper. So if you ever wanted to say, hey, I want to make sure that my team is knowing whose birthday it is, whose work anniversary it is, This is how we handle it in Prospr. When somebody's birthday it is, they'll actually open the app, will say happy birthday. Their team will get a card that they can all actually sign 3 days before that person's birthday. Same thing with work anniversaries. When we flip over to admin, I'll show you how easy it is to create bulletins. I can pin things to specific folders if there are things at the top that I always want my team to see, and I can require reading. So now that I've seen everything, let's see. Oh, my team's chatting with me. I'm in my pre-made group chat. That's everyone in my location, right? So once you put somebody into Prospr, whether that's integrated through from Mariana, or you've invited them to Prospr separately, they will automatically be in the right team groups, the right location groups. So you're not then doing all of this member management of your SMS chat threads. The biggest piece of Prospr and why teams love to use it, it looks and feels like what they use outside of work, right? So everybody knows what this kind of reminds them of. But teams are used to learning in short snippets that are visually engaging. So let's give it to them. In chat, it's not like a rote work chat, right? They can voice memo, they can share files, they can take photos, they can do surveys and polls. There's a full GIF library, right? I can emoji reply, right? So it's meeting the demands of a modern workforce and using those to our advantage at work. Some of the great things that you can also do though are flag messages. When somebody is terminated, it's a clean break from the company. They don't have any of your proprietary information. They don't have any of your past chat threads. They don't have everybody else's phone number, right? Super easy. And everything's searchable here. So if I was ever looking for a thread about coffee, I just need to know broadly what I'm looking for, and it's going to populate. Now I'm an employee, I'm looking for my schedule. When we post a schedule in Prospr, whether or not that is pulled in from Mariana or here, we can set a setting where we say we want our team to have to confirm that they've seen their shifts, right? So that there's a date and a timestamp when it was received and a date and a timestamp when somebody has confirmed. I can swap with my team very easily. That will automatically then ping out to everybody else who can work at Colorado Springs, who can work as a sales front desk lead, and who is not already scheduled in any other location, right? So we're not going to create holes to fill holes. And we can also set this for overtime, which says, hey, we don't want to show this as a shift opportunity to someone who's going to pick it up and go into overtime. When there are shifts that are swapped, you can see the top two are what we call a direct swap. So you can see that me, Kim, would be picking up for Erica on the 2nd and the 3rd, the 4th, the 18th, and the 25th. This is what we call a shift pool. Essentially, when you have scheduling holes, so when you're building the schedule and you go, well, I just don't have anybody yet for the 18th and the 25th, you can actually post those to a shift pool. If you have a shift or a class in Mariana that is not scheduled to an instructor, those can also go into the shift pool, right? Where your team will be able to see them. I'm able to volunteer for them. And you can see that it's pending approval. That will then go to a manager to say yes, no. When you say yes, Erica, you can have it, Kim, you can have it, that will then reflect as an instructor on the Mariana side. Okay. Teams can also request time off, and they can also request to change their availability in Prospr. When they come in, we can actually give our teams complete task lists by location, by team. These can repeat every Monday. You can say this repeats every single day. We can have a weekend checklist and every other Friday checklist. And I can say, great, this is done. I've opened the registers. I can see who's done what, and I can see that this is collaborative. I can also have running conversation. So I can say, hey, I'm having an issue with this. And the manager who is in charge of this checklist will be able to actually respond to me in real time on the task list itself. I can take photos. If I can't do something, I can take photos to confirm that something's been done and done properly. So potentially you might have a retail wall checklist. And you not only want to say, okay, great, somebody did it, you want to physically see exactly what it looks like. You can then, of course, export all of this rolled up through the entire brand if you're multi-unit with photos onto CSV. So there's full reporting there as well. And if there's ever a time that I can't do something, I can say, hey, I can't do it. And when you say you can't do something, we're going to ask why, right? Because we don't want our team to just stop there. Maybe there's a supply request that we need, right? Well, I can't do it because we're out of what I need, right? And again, that's then going to go to the manager. And now I can also have a running conversation on that ticket. Right? So this will automatically go to my manager, or I can potentially assign this to somebody up the chain. So maybe if this is really for Lacey, and I might want to say, hi, like, we have no index. Right? And maybe Lacey, my manager, actually knows it's in the back closet and I just didn't look there. Right? So we're taking operational issues, things that break the business, all of these tiny little nitty-gritty things that fall through the cracks of multi-unit brick and mortar, and actually providing support and accountability to them. Last but not least, maybe there's something I forgot and I need to know what it is. Right? I can require my team to read something. I can put PDFs, photos, videos, everything can live here. I can even collect e-signature on new documents, policies, procedures, SOPs. But the best part of it is that it doesn't just go away, right? It's not training in a vacuum that then lives nowhere. Somebody's in front of me, they're giving me a bill that I don't really think is real. I'm able to go, great, shoot, what is our cash handling policy? It's right there. Everything my team needs is right in their phone. What's great if you're a franchisor is you can actually flow through without violating FDD. Any resources or bulletins that you post, they can actually go to your franchise partners, and with one click, they can then bring them down to their employees within their own workspace. If you're a corporately owned organization, you can talk to every single employee in your organization with one click. Or I can say, hey, actually, I just want to talk to everyone in California. I just want to talk to my team in Miami. When it's time for me to clock out as an employee, I can verify if I've taken my meal and rest breaks. If you're in a state that requires this, I can clock out. Right? So I've just had a fully supported day as an employee without having to pull time from a manager, where I had answers to everything that I needed, ways to communicate up, ways to receive information down, and manage my schedule all in one place. We're now going to flip into our admin app. And then we'll leave some room for questions. Okay. So this looks very similar to what you guys just saw. But now let's talk about all the things I can do as an admin. When you're an admin manager, you're going to see this plus sign. A lot of places in Prospr, those are signs of things that you can do, right? So I want to actually post a bulletin. Welcome all. Again, full gift library. I can do surveys and polls. Great. Add my poll. Looks good. Okay. Full rich text. I can do bullets. I can do file sharing. I can add files to Prospr. Everything is here. Now I can choose if I'm going to pin something to the top, if I'm going to collect receipts, if I want to enable comments and reactions, and who is this going to, right? Maybe this is actually just for my GMs. Maybe this is just for everyone in my Eastern region, right? So we'll be able to digitally replicate your entire org chart within Prospr. I'm going to give this to everybody. I can even schedule a post. Oftentimes when I was managing teams, when I had the time to do something, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. That was never a good time to actually reach my team. So I can schedule send. We're going to send it now. Right? And super quickly, I have now spoken to everybody in my organization in a way that I can also hold them accountable. I can always see who saw what day, what time. If I've required read receipt, I can see who's seen it. I can see who's pending. With one click, I can send a reminder. So I'm not doing that consistent, hey, did you see? Right? Especially when we have people who work Sunday and then next Thursday, right? The ability to follow up is really important. And especially in our kind of a business, the ability to hold people accountable is huge, right? Because right now our studio managers and everybody on top of them gets faced with, well, I don't know, nobody told me. And now we actually have an answer for that. Okay. If I want to manage a schedule, I can actually create shifts directly from my mobile phone. So let's say I say, hey, I want to open up a class tomorrow, or I know I want another front desk tomorrow. I can very easily do that from my phone. I can help my team manage their own shifts. I can edit shifts. I can add more shifts. But also on a day-by-day basis, I just might want to see who's working where. Awesome. Maybe I just want to see in Colorado Springs, I just want to see who's my manager today. If I'm managing 100 locations, I can filter between 100 locations. If I'm the manager of one location, I will only see that one location. You can also set access so that we can say, okay, the regional can see these 10, and the district can see these 5, and the store lead can see this 1. But COO can see everything, right? So we have all of these different opportunities there. When I'm in messaging, again, we are all about accountability. So if I send something and I want to see who saw it, I can see who saw it in chat. If somebody says something that needs to be moderated, because sometimes we're in group chats, somebody just puts bad information there and we don't want that bad information to sit there and fester. I can actually flag something and pull it out of a chat. One of my favorite features in chat, though, that is admin and manager only is the idea of broadcast. If you have ever sent a giant group message only for it to become absolute anarchy, because everybody then starts chiming in and responding, some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't make sense, broadcast is BCC for chat. So again, I can talk to my entire workspace, every single employee in my organization, or again, I can talk to specific locations, specific working groups, specific teams. We have a new SOP in resources, and I can actually tag it and write if this was a real resource, the PDF that I've just put in would actually appear here. Right? And so then when my team sees it and starts to respond to me, it's one to many, many back to one. So again, I always have that opportunity to see exactly who saw it, what day, what time. Nobody's seen it? Oh, Lacey just saw it. Okay, great. Right, I can always see who's pending. I can see who's seen it. And when Lacey responds to me, you'll see that she and I are now in a one-to-one chat. So the idea of reply thread anarchy completely goes away. If I want to manage my checklists, I can do that here. I'm the admin, so I don't have any. If I have a schedule, I can also see my schedule here. But if I want to manage my team, I can approve and deny directly from mobile. So I can say, okay, great. Joanne wants to swap with Lacey. And when I hit approve, if they're an instructor who's represented on Mariana, that will then seamlessly integrate onto Mariana's schedule. I can also manage time off here, and that will integrate into scheduling as well. So that I will get a reminder if I say, okay, great. If I give Holly off, these are the 2 shifts that I need to now find coverage for. I can say, great, I'm going to give her off. And now I want to put those shifts into the shift pool so that people can volunteer for them. Right? So we'll always make sure that we're not letting you take action A, creating a problem over here. Shifts at risk is I love it. We will show you up to a running 60 days. Any shift that is either unassigned, which means you have an open hold, you haven't scheduled somebody, or a shift that somebody is actively looking for coverage. So I can see tomorrow, Erica's looking for coverage. She hasn't found it. An hour ago, the notification was sent to the 4 available team members who fit all of the requirements, and no one has picked it up yet. Right? That means that as an operator, I think there is a high chance that Erica's going to be sick tomorrow. So I can either go talk to Erica, I can get in front of it, I can actively help her try to cover it. Right? But having the knowledge, having the insight makes you able to be a much better operator. I can see where my team is. As the manager, I can see great, Colorado's 28% done. And I can see that Kim has a new hire onboarding and she's 50% done. So then as my team are going through, you can have one-off checklist, team checklist, collaborative location checklists, things that are just for GMs. There's a ton of task management features within Prospr that allow you to have a ton of flexibility there. Again,
Erica, can I jump in with I'm seeing some questions come through the chat. I'm sure you can see them too. I know there's a lot of interest in understanding where the overlap is with payroll. And then I think even going deeper and maybe just articulating and showing the team today, because you all have just built an integration, gone through tech review, and been working with Haley and Joe. So kind of honing in on the Mariana Tek integration and what that unlocks specifically, I think would be great.
sure. Okay, so let's answer some of the questions that we have. So you do not run payroll through Prospr. It is a full sync with any payroll provider that you have. So it's a custom export, one-click CSV upload into your payroll provider. We work with pretty much everybody. There has not been one that we haven't been able to work with yet. So I hope that answers that first question. As far as integration with MT, as far as the instructor schedule, if there is an integration, does it pull for the MT? Yes, Greg, that's exactly right. So you'll build your instructor schedule in Mariana. It will then display in Prospr. So Lace, do you want to actually pull up the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, so when you are integrating with Prospr, you will then, once you have your Prospr workspace, we'll integrate it with your Mariana Tek workspace. We'll sync your schedules and classes. Let's move to the next slide. Right, and we'll help you do this in the onboarding process. This is not on you. And let's go to the next slide, please. Great. So when you have a Mariana Tek integration, you'll be able to see and sync Prospr and Mariana. It should automatically always stay in sync, but if you want to just be super careful, you can always just hit the sync button and hit the next, please. And then on the schedule itself, you'll actually see both your sales team that you'll build in Prospr, plus your integrated shifts. And any integrated shift will have a note that says this has actually been created on the Mariana side. Some of the nice things, though, is Prospr allows you to do reminders for things like you've picked up for somebody, you've picked up from the shift pool. So we can actually SMS text your team up to 2 hours before they're expected at work to remind them. You can add tasks to shifts. You can add notes to shifts. So all of the flexibility that you'll have for your non-instructors that you're building in Prospr, once you integrate that shift over, and again, it's automatic, you then have all of the opportunities of what a shift can do within the Prospr system. You are welcome. Right, so the idea here is that it's a one-stop shop for absolutely everything that you need. Okay, is coaching shifts picked up through Prospr? Will it update in Mariana automatically? Yes, Rachel, that's exactly right. So now with the integration, anything that is changed in Prospr will automatically then live in Mariana. Amy, is there a limit on the amount of video uploads? No. So we do have a ton of people who actually will merge their LMS into Prospr. There are no limits. Nobody has ever broken it. I would encourage you to try. And then we can always just make it bigger. You can have videos, PDFs. We have people who put 55-page PDFs into one article. And so you can absolutely put all of your videos, all of your training, all of your SOPs, PDFs, everything can live here. Yeah. All right. So in resources, you can actually put all of your learning, training, development here, right? I'm able to have videos, photos, articles. What's great about this is that I can build categories, folders, I can share content across all my franchise partners to pull down. So if I'm a franchisee, I can import from a brand hub all of their learning, all of the training, everything a new franchise partner might need so that they can actually start up. I can move things around, right? So I have full coursing of what needs to come first, what comes second, what should people see. When I create a new article, again, video, photos, PDFs, everything's here. I can then decide the access settings and whether or not this requires receipt. So in the event that something requires receipt, for example, like cash handling, I can say that only my managers need to see this in all of my locations. Or I can say this is for managers only if they work in Miami. Right, so we'll keep your internet and knowledge library really, really clean. What I love about this though, is I have a bunch of different ways to confirm who has seen what. And on individual user profiles, I will always track everything that I've asked my team member to learn, the day, the time that it was delivered to them and that they signed it, and how long they spent reading. So I have full verification of everything that I have trained my team on over time, as well as any bulletin post that I've required them to read. Right? So again, this is where you can host all of the learning information. We can hold them accountable. And then the best part is that when they actually need it, it's right there in their phone. So it's not living in this separate LMS that nobody ever touches again after week 2 of employment. Right? Really, it's more important that we're giving our teams access to the information easily in perpetuity, because the reality is everybody forgets, right? About 90% of training gets lost. And so putting it in the same place that they chat, the same place they check their schedules, the same place they celebrate, it only reinforces everything on the ground. Okay, we have some more questions, which is exciting. Let me pull up the chat. Can we run onboarding quizzes for our staff? Yes, you can. So we can actually set surveys. We also integrate with Google Forms. So you can embed a Google form into Prospr and have people take the quiz there, or you could do a survey within Prospr itself. You can also do it within joint missions, but I think surveys or Google form are the 2 best ways, in my opinion, to do it. What other questions can I answer? Oh, sorry, Charlie.
Good. Yeah, Charlie's great.
In regards to scheduling staff, does Prospr have the ability to see staff ability and to schedule them according to the available shifts? We absolutely do. So when you build a schedule, you have 2 options. You can build it in Mariana and not schedule anyone in Mariana, and it will all kind of move over as an unassigned shift. And then you can auto schedule from Prospr itself, where we'll take into account people's availability, how many hours. We can even say Erica can work 16 hours, but Haley can work 25. We'll help you project payroll and budget before you publish. you'll be able to actually see in real time exactly what you're trying to spend, who's been scheduled, how many hours. I can say, I just want to see what I'm spending on managers. I only want to see what I'm scheduled for facilities. So you have a ton of flexibility within the scheduler as well. Multiple different scheduling views if you're someone who prefers more of people on the x-axis, days across the y, or I personally like this view because I like to see time. It's just how my brain works. I can add tasks to shifts that are one-off in addition to the larger schedules. I really get a lot of power out of one tool, right? And then married to Mariana, really this is all you need, plus a payroll provider, something that will process your checks to run fully. So if Mariana is how you communicate and manage all of your members and all of your guests, Prospr is the backbone and how you're managing absolutely everything for your internal studio. What other questions can I answer? I know we're coming up a little bit on time. So we will not manage commissions for the sales team. That will still be run in your POS. I'm just gonna answer everybody. Okay, Lace, do you want to pull up that slide that has the QR code? Hold on one second. Actually, let's not do that. Because I want to show you guys one more thing. Oh, are there any more questions? No. All right, let me know when you guys can see my screen here. There's one more piece that I really love specifically for studio businesses. We can also help you guys manage your compliance in terms of users and their certifications. So you can actually upload documents to Prospr for an employee, their new hire form, their training certification, their CPR certification, and set expiration dates so that I know 30 days before, 2 weeks before, and 1 week before, and both you and the employee will get a reminder that they need to update whatever it is. You can also have all of your team put their driver's license, their I-9s, and they can do it directly from their phone, take a picture so that you're not chasing geese trying to onboard new people. And then one of the things that I really love is that you're also able to say, okay, I want to pause notifications until my next shift so that we're really encouraging our teams to engage here because we're not just going to litter them with things. Maybe they're going on vacation for 2 weeks. Maybe they are going on maternity leave, right? So there are ways for your team to actually control access to notifications, which they really appreciate. So when we're giving our team those sorts of opportunities to actually control how they're communicated with, we see a much greater rate of people engaging, downloading the app, happy to use it, because ultimately we're making their lives so much easier too.